In this lecture, guys, I'm going to discuss about a concept called as decorator. So as this concept suggests, decorator means we are going to decorate some of the function. We are talking about a decoration of a function. This is what it means. So see guys, I believe in a festival season, so we all try to decorate our house. So when we are trying to decorate our house, so we are not actually changing the house. What we are trying to do is, so by using maybe some sort of a lights, or maybe by using a garlands and many more stuff. So we just try to decorate so that it will be having a additional feature. Means we are trying to add a additional beauty on top of the same skeleton. This is what a decoration means, right? So decorate like something. So this is what it means. So similar kind of approach you will be able to find out even with respect to a function, that there is a function, there is a small function, but if you would like to add some more power to it, so how you will be able to do it, and this is where decorator we are going to study. So we are going to add a more power or more layer to the functions, so that the original functions will be way more powerful with the decoration. So let's get started guys, and let's try to understand what is a decorator. So here I'll take a very simple example of the function guys. So let's suppose I'm going to create a function called as say hello. Okay, so there is a function called as say hello. Let's suppose I'm going to create. Fine. Now here, so this function is going to maybe a print, basically print what? So print hello over here. That's it. This is what this function is going to do. Apart from that, this function is not going to do anything. Now execute, and here, so let's call this function. So this function is going to just tell me hello. So this function, if I'm going to call this function, is just going to tell me hello. So whatever I have written, it is just going to print it. That's it, nothing more than that. Now if I would like to call this function with some additional power, this is a very small and basic function, but I would like to give some additional power to it. Means whenever I'm going to call this function, it should execute something else as well. It should execute obviously say hello, but along with this, it should execute something else as well. So how I will be able to do it? Let's try to understand, and this is where you will be able to understand the concept of a decoration. Means I just have to decorate it little bit, right? This is my original house, I just have to decorate it. So here I can try to create a function called as my decorator, decorator, my decorator. I can try to create this function, and here, so function is an input. Again, this is just a simple input parameter which I'm trying to pass, and I'm just trying to give one function name over here, right? Now this function name can be anything. It's not hard and fast that you should always try to keep this function name as a my decorator. This could be anything, my name, your name. You can try to pass anything that you want. And then here you can try to give wrapper. So wrapper, and so function inside function I'm trying to create. And then here, so I'm going to write that print something before, and then here I'm going to call this function. Okay, and then here I'm going to write, so print something after, and finally it is going to give me a return of the whole function. So return what? Return wrapper. Okay, return wrapper in this particular place. Now this is one of the function inside function I have created, and I believe we all are aware about this function inside the function, right? We all know how to create a function inside the function. The only differences you will be able to find out in this particular place is, so I'm considering that this is going to take input, this is going to take input as a function. Okay, this is going to take input as a function, and then this second layer of function, which is a nested function, so this is going to execute this function over here by adding some above and beyond something, right? By adding something above and beyond, it is going to execute it. Now let me show you the beauty of it first of all, and then I'll come to the explanation part. Okay, now there is a function called as say hello. For example, there is a function called as say hello. So if I'm going to call this say hello, right, by default it is going to print hello. Okay, fine. But let's suppose if I'm going to decorate this function, so how I'm going to decorate? So to decorate it, you have to use @ and then you can try to use the name of the decorator. So this function is a decoration function which I'm trying to consider. Means I'm just trying to add the power of this function to this particular function. So if you have to add the power of any function, just you have to write @ my decorator. Okay, now execute. Okay, nothing has happened. Now try to call say hello. You will be able to see some changes. See, say hello is just trying to print hello. Nothing more than that. Say hello is just trying to print what? Say hello is just trying to print hello. That is something which I am able to receive. That is something which I am able to receive by saying hello. But what extra I am able to receive out of this one? Print something before, print something after. So can I say that I'm trying to add a more power to it? Whatever I would like to do it before, whatever I would like to do it after, I will be able to add it. Maybe if I have to find out that how much time this function is going to take for execution, so time differences, time complexity, the actual time difference, if I would like to find out, maybe I can try to wrap it up this function with those time differences. I will be able to find it out, and I can try to make it even generic. So for whatever function I have to find out the time complexity, I will be able to find out. I don't have to write the function again and again. I can simply call the decorator. This is something called as decorator. So by using this one, this function will be executed, but before and after, whatever we have written inside the wrapper side, it is going to execute that first. So how to create the decorator function? Simple, it's a function inside the function. That's it. So it is going to take input as a function and then do whatever you want above and beyond, and then just try to call this function. So, and decorate it. This is how this decoration is going to work for all of us, guys. Now, let me tell you, or let me give you the multiple example, not just one single example, because one single example is not, uh, you know, uh, enough for you to understand things. Let's suppose I would like to create a decorator where it should find out and time complexity of each and every function. So what is the execution time of each and every function? It should give me the that particular time. Okay, fine. So I believe I can try to create it. So here what I can do is, so def, and then I can try to write timer function I'm going to create, so which is going to take input as a function. Okay. As of now, I've just written FUNC. FUNC is not a reserved keyword, so it could be any name you can try to give. Then maybe I can try to write a wrapper, WRAPPER, wrapper function over here. And then in this particular place, what I can do is, so maybe I can try to call a start time, start underscore time is nothing but I have to call time module first of all. So import time. Okay. So start time. Now what is the start time? So start time is nothing but time dot time. Time dot time. So time dot time is going to give you the current time basically. Okay. So current time. And then I'm going to call the function. So whatever function for which I have to find out the timing, and then end time. End underscore time is another variable which I'm going to create. So time dot time. So it is going to capture a time here, and it is going to capture a time over here. Okay, fine. And then finally, it is going to give a return. Return of what? So basically, it is going to give a return of the wrapper function. Wrapper function. It is going to give me a return. Now, this is one of the function which I am able to create. Okay, this is one of the function which I am able to create. Now here, what I can do is, so maybe I can try to a print basically. So difference between start time and end time. So maybe I can try to write over here the final time of execution is basically start time minus end underscore time. Okay, start time minus end time. So what it will do, it will try to print, and I'm just trying to return this wrapper function. Okay, execute. Now this was the function that I had. This was the function that I had. Simple. So if I have to find out, not just with this function, with any function, that what is a time which this function is taking for me to execute, what I can do is I can simply give an additional power to it. So at the rate timer. So timer is basically a decoration function. So I'm going to decorate it with the timer function. So now it will be having a power of this functions as well. Execute. So execute, right? And now if I'm going to call say hello, if I'm going to call say hello, you will be able to find out that yes, it is trying to print hello. That's completely fine. But along with this, it is also trying to print what? It is also trying to print this one. The final execution time is basically this much. So fraction of second, it's a very small second of a time it is taking. That's the reason. So it is giving you this one. So I have to print a timing into a microsecond or maybe into a millisecond. Okay, so I'm just trying to add additional power. Now just call any function. Call any function, right? Just try to decorate it. You don't have to write these line of a code, start time, end time, again and again and again. You don't have to even write down start time, end time. This is the beauty of decoration, guys. I'm not writing a start time, end time. I can try to create any xyz function. So maybe def and a test function I'm going to create. Okay, and let's suppose I'm going to pass a list, and then for I in L, so print 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 a value of L. So this is one of the function which I'm going to create now. So I'm going to call this function test, and here I'm going to pass a list, for example. So here list will be having this much of data set which I'm going to call. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is the data set which I'm going to pass. So I believe I have given some double. Okay, so now execute. It is going to print this entire list again and again and again. That's completely fine. Or maybe if I'm going to give I, so it is going to print all the I's one by one, one by one, one by one. But I would like to know that how much time this function is taking with this list, with this particular input. How I will be able to find out. So I have to write a code, start time, then end time inside a function, and then even I have to return start time and end time. Now that is not required. I have already created one of the function over here. What I can do is I can try to use the power of this function. So how I will be able to leverage the power of this function? Nothing, simple. I'll try to decorate it. So at the rate timer at the rate timer, and then execute it. So what has happened? Time local takes 0 position argument, but 1 was given. Okay, yeah. So this function is giving me an issue because here, so I have passed a function, so with 0 argument, but I'm just trying to call these things. Means internal function, the function on which I'm trying to decorate, so it is having one of the arguments. So how I'm going to handle this kind of a situation? Let's try to understand even that particular part. See guys, so it is giving me an error. It is giving me an error saying that takes 0 positional argument, right? But 1 was given. It simply means that I have decorated this function. So now this function will be passed. This function will be passed where? This function will be passed over here. Now just try to see this function. This function is trying to take how many argument? 0 argument, right? 0 argument. But this function is trying to take at least 1 argument. So maybe I have to generalize it. So how I will be able to generalize this particular part? Let's try to understand. Nothing. So here I can try to give a static of args, and then I can try to give a static kw args. So it simply means that I'm trying to make it generic, that you can try to pass a 0 argument, again argument wise. So args and kw args means you can try to pass just a plain argument. You can even try to pass a key and values, although it's not required in every situation. But again, I don't know, so when and where user is going to call my timer function, I'm not aware about it, right? I'm not aware about it. So keeping that in a mind, what I can do is maybe I can try to do a best out of it. See the final time of execution, and yes, I'm able to get the power of this functions as well, which is pretty much simple, so this is how guys you all will be able to perform a decoration. So simple, you have to write a external function. So I'm just trying to execute it, that's it, right? Before and after, whatever you would like to perform, just try to perform it. So even going forward, I'm going to show you not just a 1, 2, 3 example, but many examples where I'm going to use a decorator frequently, and even in your actual development environment. So whenever you're going to work on the project extensively, you all are going to use a decorator, and based on that you are going to write a lot of code. So just try to practice this one guys. Just try to do some sort of a permutation and combination of these decorators with respect to our functions, even in your classes, even in your oops classes. So object oriented programming session which I'm going to take, even at that point of a time, I'm going to use a decorator, but with respect to classes. And obviously I'll try to show you a couple of examples even with respect to a function. But yeah, conceptually these concepts are pretty much important, but easy to understand. That's not very difficult to understand at any point of a time. So with that guys, thank you so much everyone. Keep practicing, keep trying. Do let me know in case of any kind of a issue that you are going to face. With that, thank you so much, everyone.